Ashley Webster is here. Sit up straight, lad.
I'm trying.
Okay. Scott Martin and John Layfield. Big tech companies, they've been on a tear with this latest round of earnings reports. Then we got Facebook yesterday, really knocked it out of the park. Scott, the stock is actually coming down a little this morning because Zuckerberg says he's going to spend a fortune on security. Would you buy Facebook at $180 a share?
I would, Stuart. We talked about this on Monday about buying it, and I'll tell you what, I would continue to add to Facebook here because you mentioned it. It was the earnings. I mean, the top-line growth is amazing. The bottom-line growth is amazing. The mobile ad revenue numbers were amazing. It's just the fact that Mark Zuckerberg, from time to time, actually is a real guy. He's a real CEO, and he tells it to people like it's straight. So I had a little bit of a cry in the shower this morning, to be honest, when I saw the stock open here, because it was up about $5 after hours yesterday. But this is a chance to add because Facebook is a major growth engine for the future.
Okay, John, do you think that Zuckerberg is emerging as a sufficiently mature guy to run a company as big and powerful and rich as Facebook?
I definitely think he is. I think combined with Sheryl Sandberg, they're an incredible team. I think the problem that they have right now, look, Scott is right. The ad revenue is up 50%, and the global ad revenue is up only 5%. The problem they have right now is this fake news. And Senator Al Franken asked a great question yesterday to Facebook's counsel was, you had a political ad bought in Russian rubles. How did you possibly miss that? They have to deal with this. Governments, when they get intervene, compress margins, and you're going to see some margin compression this year because of this adding 10,000 people to deal with fake news.
Okay, that's interesting. Now, Apple, they report after the closing bell today. Apple this morning is around, I think, $167 a share. But we've got this from Morgan Stanley. They say that if people spend $1,000 on the iPhone 10 this Christmas, they'll spend less or nothing elsewhere. Now, I'm not sure I agree with that.
Like sucking all the air out of the room.
Yeah, right, sucking all the air. Do you read it that way, Scott Martin? Sucking all the air out of retail?
I don't. I think it's a sucky prediction, to be honest with you, Stuart. You know why? Because, guys, remember the days, and we kind of forget about the days when the economy was actually really good, you know, back in like the mid-2000s, I guess it was. And that's when you'd have these killer products, or like the phones, you know, when those really started going, that would get people out to the stores, get people in the spending mood. So as people look at their jobs and their job security, they look at their 401ks at record highs, I think it makes you spend more at Christmas, and having a product like this gets you out in the mood.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you there, Scott. Thank you. Now, check the big board because we're up 11 points. Again, not expecting a huge market move before 11:15 because that's when we find out details of this tax cut plan from the GOP. So it'll be fairly limited price action until then. That's what I think, at least. A couple of individual stocks. We got Fitbit to start with, down 4%. Their sales fell short. And we've got a weak holiday forecast coming in from GoPro, down 11%. Wow, you make a bad forecast, I'll take it to the cleaners. Kraft Heinz, their sales fell short. That's the expression to use here. They're down 1.5%. Yelp, now they're looking down the road. They see less money coming in, so not exactly a rosy forecast. Down they go about 1%. Wayfair, that's the online retailer, down big. The company lost a whole lot of money, a lot more than the street was expecting. They're down 20%. Ouch. Lower profits at Avon. That company also lowered its forecast, down 5%. Is anything up this morning?
Yes,
Cheesecake Factory seeing fewer customers at its restaurants. Down she goes, 5.8%. How about that? Now we've got Walmart. They're planning to hold thousands of holiday parties in the store to give customers a reason to go in the store. The stock's up at 88. John, is that a good strategy, Walmart store parties?
It is a good strategy. I own a Walmart, by the way, for full disclosure, but it's not going to increase revenue that much. Like you got economies of scale. Everybody already shops at Walmart. The biggest growth factor in Walmart is their online business, and that is big.
Yeah, but Walmart, would you say, is the best alternative, the best competitor to Amazon? John, you say that?
Yes. No doubt about it. They already have the infrastructure nationwide, especially in North America, for same-day delivery of groceries and electronic items. Yes, they are a real competitor to Amazon.
Well, it's a good-looking chart on Walmart. It's gone up consistently, actually. Now, all right, Amazon, here we go. They want to let you shop on Black Friday in, wait for it, augmented reality. Now, Ash, I know you can explain this to me.
I think I can. It's what you do in the Amazon app. You can actually click on a little camera icon. And what's great about this, I think is interesting. I don't know if it's going to help sales, but if you're ordering a sofa, whatever household item you want, you can take your camera and it will superimpose that item as you move around your home. So you can say, how would that couch look right there? And you can actually see the couch and you can try out all the different colors and everything. So it's really, you know, I think this is a really good example of augmented reality really being useful when you look at, as a shopper and a consumer, to see, wow, that looks, and I can see you walking around your house checking out, I think that lazy boy looks really good right there.
What you just did is make me understand augmented reality.
There you go.
And that's a plus. Well done, young man.
Thank you very much.
We have Gap's Old Navy, that's a unit of the Gap. They're launching a subscription box service for kids' clothes. You spend $70, you get $100 worth of clothes. Is that a way to beat Amazon? What do you say, Scott?
No, I like the idea, though, Stuart, and the reason they won't beat Amazon is because, let's face it, at the end of the day, you're still wearing Gap clothes. You know, I will admit, I mean, this is probably TMI, but I do still buy my boxers at Gap, but that's about it. So I like the idea of them shipping this and giving you a little bit extra for what you're paying for. But the reality is, the beauty about Amazon is you can get anything and everything there. The choice is what Amazon benefits from.
By the way, Alibaba, I think we can get that stock on the screen. Alibaba has just hit an all-time high. Talk about online sellers doing well. There you have it, 187 on Alibaba. All right, let's get to pay TV. How about this? 1 million people cut the cord in the last 3 months. Cable companies worried about it. Streaming is king. We don't see much of a reaction immediately right there, certainly not from Frontier. But, look, it seems to me streaming is king. Is anybody going to take me on this?
How could you? I mean, it's just we've been heading this direction.
Even I do it.
Well, that says it all.
Case closed, everybody.
Yes.
Case closed. Am I right? John and Scott, streaming is king. Scott first.
Yeah, you're right, Stuart. You know what the funny thing is about streaming? I mean, not only is it just kind of more fun to use, I guess, and easier, you know what really annoyed me over the years when you think about the cable cord? It's all those costs and taxes and fees that you see on your bill that basically add up to half of what you're paying for, or double what you're paying for the cable anyway.
Yes.
Forget that stuff and just stream your life away.
But, John, the cable company is still usually going to supply me with my internet connection. So they've got me any which way you go.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I own Verizon, that and because of a great yield is because of the internet connection of people streaming. Look, I think content is king right here, but when Apple and Facebook started getting into sports, the big four networks, the traditional networks, they're in a lot of trouble because that's the only thing that sells right now for ad rates is live television. Like Varney and Company, everybody wants to be on this show.
Okay, I got breaking news. Yeah, well said. I've got breaking news. Attorney General Sessions speaking this morning in New York. He's talking about the need for tech companies to comply with law enforcement. What have you got on this?
Yeah, he goes on to say, he says, look, over the past year, and this is interesting, the FBI could not access about 7,500 mobile devices despite court orders and having the legal authority. Remember the San Bernardino attack and them trying to get into that Apple iPhone. He says that Jeff Sessions says he supports the president's call to abolish diversity visa lottery, by the way, and replace it with a points-based system, a merit-based system, much like Australia. He says this: terrorists should know that this administration will use all lawful tools at our disposal, including prosecuting them in court and at Guantanamo Bay.
If you've got a court order to get into that cell phone, you should be able to get into that cell phone.
That's exactly right. And he says in 7,500 cases,
you couldn't get in.
They can get in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Details on tax reform coming in less than 2 hours now. Will this help? Is this a middle-class tax cut that helps the middle class, John, first of all?
Yes, I think it is because of the deduction. Look, I think that they're doing the right thing here. It's politically unpalatable to lower rates on the top 1%. They're not doing that. So, therefore, I think they're going to get this passed, especially the corporate tax rate. I hope they make it permanent.
Okay. What do you say, Scott? This helps the middle class?
Yes, on the corporate tax side, John's right, but goodness, guys, this 401k attack really has me worried, especially for the folks that have the savings, the only savings they have in the 401k. If you take that away or change those rules, that's not good for the middle class.
Yeah, I really want the detail on that one at 11:15.
And how much does that hurt the markets? That's money being taken out of the markets in many cases.
Depends how much they trim the amount you can put in. I think 18,000 is the limit now. If they trim it down significantly, that hurts the market.
It does. It takes money out.
But they could actually expand how much you can put in. There's another proposal. We'll find out at 11:15. Gentlemen, Scott, John, thanks very much for joining us. Appreciate it.